dark, but have no fear.
There's something inside you. It's hard to explain. They're talking about you, boy, but you're still the same. There's something inside you. It's hard to explain. They're talking about you, boy, but you're still the same. There's something inside you. There's something inside you. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. They're talking about you, boy, but you're still the same.
Welcome back. Tug of War Mad Moon continues, and we are going to find out which team will be second and which team will be third in their group for Group B. And that means that we're going to have one match, one game, one best of one between NIGMA and Aggressive Mode. And for that one, we changed up our panel a little bit. We moved Gods to the caster desk, and it is Kyle that replaces him. And still here with Lizard. Kyle, how are you doing this morning?
I've been better, I've been worse.
Long
story.
Did you have a good night yesterday? Or?
I did.
Yeah.
It was fun, yeah. I broke. Well,
You broke?
No, there's only 2 rules in esports, okay?
Okay.
One is just, don't be the douche canoe. And the second is be very careful if you go to a bar with people from certain regions. And that's at the end.
And you failed the rule 2.
Yeah, it's hard to, yeah, that's all. I'm a little mushy today, so I'm gonna need you guys to carry me.
I can tell you, Lizard, this morning I saw Kyle in the elevator for breakfast, and he's like, yeah, I've got this pain in my back. Can you see anything? So he lifts his shirt of his back, and there's this massive, like, I don't know, it wasn't even a bruise. It was like, he probably fell down some stairs, like some red shaved area. I showed it to Valerie, our talent manager. She's like, is that a rash? It was pretty bad. I took a picture of it.
Sounds very standard for his trip to Kiev.
Yes.
And
It's a really wonderful city.
It
I will
is.
say, I'm always excited when I get to come back here.
You know what a
One of my
wonderful
favorite
city is?
places.
This city, because we are in the Mad Moon Tug of War city. We definitely have a city behind us where some awesome Dota is about to be played. These 2 teams know each other so well. They've played each other so many times over the last week or so, like in the European qualifiers, Aggressive Mode and NIGMA. Let's just first recap what happened yesterday for these squads. NIGMA, started off doing quite okay. They started off beating Ninjas in Pajamas 2-0. It actually looked pretty good for them, Lizard.
yeah, Ninjas in Pajamas, however, overall didn't really have the best day yesterday.
True.
And later on, NIGMA looked only all right when they had these heroes that were either a cheese or something like a Medusa, right? Your Meepos and Medusas, and they look all right. But whenever they start playing normal, real Dotes, it didn't look great. And
Why not?
I'm wondering the same, because even from the minor, if you remember that Kuroki's interview, he said like, all right, we're feeling bad right now, we're not in our form, but we will work hard to improve. It's been, what, 2 months now, and the improvement just isn't there.
They look pretty bad, I'd say. They didn't make it out of Europe like a lot of people probably expected, neither to the major nor the minor. And I think that's also a part of why we could look to see them succeed here. NIP, I was talking with their manager earlier, like they had a 3-week boot camp leading up to those qualifiers. They've been on the road for like a month. They're exhausted. This is like the end of their road. They made it to the major. Whereas NIGMA, this is kind of it. This is all they've got to do for like a month or so. So they better try bring their A game, and thus far it really hasn't looked great.
No, on the other side, I think Aggressive Mode. They faced NIGMA earlier on in the qualifiers for Europe, for the major already, and for the minor actually as well. But I want to actually first focus a little bit on yesterday, where Aggressive Mode, I feel like, Skeeter, the previous carry of Ninjas in Pajamas, up against Ninjas in Pajamas. I wouldn't call it ultimate revenge, but definitely some revenge. That must feel really good for Aggressive Mode being in this position right now.
It felt great for him, and he played so well as well. Skeeter finally proving himself to be the carry that they actually needed. They got rid of, and now he's doing a little bit better in the Aggressive Mode.
He really is, and as we see the stage with the look-alike Dr. Disrespect, the CIS Dr. Disrespect again, it means that we are very close to welcoming both of the teams on
What a
stage.
stash, man. What a stash. He's like straight from the 70s. I thought we were supposed to be in the future.
Well, I mean, this is a fake one. Did you know that?
It all comes around, the fashion, it just comes around.
It's like he is, so basically it's like, okay, how do you think, what would you look like 50 years from now, if you were taking to the future, what would you wear? He's like, I need a mustache, because that's the future right there.
Bold move.
Well, you guys are already here.
Yeah, well,
it's not as
I think
awesome
there's a difference between growing a mustache and just not shaving.
A big difference.
Big difference.
Big difference, yeah.
And I don't really think my facial hair is anything to write home about. I'm just lazy.
So you're like, okay, this is Mad Moon. So rather than taking it to the cyberpunk futuristic role, you took it to the werewolf role.
Indeed.
All right, Team
What a
NIGMA
show.
taking the stage here. They're ready for that. Well, what an absolute amazing,
Yeah.
amazing
yeah.
show here.
There's
Damn.
still.
This is
Yeah.
hype.
I feel like I'm at a rave.
I feel like I could be going to a rave. I hope
You
that
can't.
NIGMA is ready for this game, though. So we see them on stage. We've seen them yesterday, and we know that this is the tournament that they have to work with in terms of what they're going to focus on for the next month in terms of going into the next qualifier. This is where they're going to learn their lessons. They're going to find out what they need to work on. They're going to try to put their best foot forward, and they are going to go up against another team that also will work towards being the best version of themselves for the upcoming qualifiers after next match. It's aggressive mode.
Holy shit. They put this together in like. The minor was like a month ago.
And
Yeah.
they moved everything from the mountains back in Kiev, and it looks just amazing.
It does look amazing.
This is a hell of a stack as well. You can see Lil front and center. This is literally, they should call themselves the meme team, man. Spartan on the squad as well. I love watching him play. He's
You just love the whole team, the whole stack.
Yeah, they are an insanely fun team to watch. And I think that this best of one, so we know that, regardless of result, none of these teams are eliminated. This is a seeding best of one. I can only imagine the crazy stuff either that both of the teams can come with. I heard Spartan in the green room mention something about techies. I don't know what will happen, but if it is going to
that's the
happen,
perfect
this
spot,
is the game.
He said that this game is going to be very fun and they're going to
Yes.
make it that
Yeah.
way. Now, their mid laner, Borania, I used to play with him. And
Yeah.
when he's in an aggressive mode, when he's
Yeah.
playing aggressively, he's on his best.
That's
and I
how you
really
pronounce
like that.
his name.
Borania.
I always
It's his,
called him Bora Ninja.
I call
Bora
him,
Ninja.
I call him
No.
Borania.
That's closer. Borania.
Borania.
His last name
Cooler,
is
though.
Boranishevich or something like that.
Okay.
So
There's
it
no
comes from
N
that.
there, so Ninja was wrong altogether anyway.
Well, well,
In any case, it means peas, like those
like
What?
peas. Like
peas,
the
vegetable,
vegetable?
vegetables. Yeah.
I hate peas. Do you eat frozen peas or do you warm them up first?
What?
My whole
What?
family
Frozen?
only eats frozen peas. They hate them warm and mushy.
All right, the only reason why you would use frozen peas in the frozen state is if you have a massive bruise on your back and you need to cool it down.
Or if you wanted to give someone a bruise, you just beat them with the bag
With
of
the
peas.
frozen
Yeah.
peas. Yeah, you warm them up. There's no doubt in my
Well,
mind that that is the way
heard it
to
from the
eat
panel,
peas.
brothers.
It is quite fun to know that that name means peas, though, because I didn't know that, and I can only imagine all the different ways that commentators can, dunk on enemy, like, eat your greens. I don't know.
You should use that. You should use that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
You can-
a really good line. back to Spartan real quick.
Yeah.
What's the... I can't remember the name of the character. It's one of those fighting games. The guy that's like the drunken brawler style. That is how this man plays Dota.
Oh, yeah?
That's why Techies is perfect for him. You don't really understand what he's doing.
He's
But he knows
running
most of
at
the
you.
time.
He doesn't have a single item. He's running at you, and he looks mean, and it scares you. You're like, does this guy really have a plan, or is he just a fool? You know,
Yeah.
it's 50-50 with him.
It's interesting too when you consider, that True Sight doc about Kuro saying, they just keep running at us.
What do we do?
Well, it's a little different when it's just Spartan. He doesn't have 4 TI winning teammates behind him. Oftentimes he's
Fair.
all alone. But still, it should be a fun match to watch. And I'm expecting most people probably rooting for NIGMA at home.
That's because they're the bigger the bigger team, big organization. No surprise. Aggressive Mode is actually a very young squad. I know that they got their slot from qualifying, but that was a whole different team. That was May 2019 even. So I believe that.
Really?
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. Ninjas in Pajamas qualified for this specific LAN in February 2019.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, and it was just
Really?
PPD that is still the same teammate, still the same person on the
Interesting.
team. Yeah, but
Oh,
I do
sweet.
think
Hey, Wee.
Hey, Wee.
What a smile. Look at that guy.
he's got good smile.
They definitely have a bigger fan base, nonetheless.
Yes.
So.
But these two teams, I think Aggressive Mode already in the European qualifiers and in the minor qualifiers, they've made some fans for themselves as well because of the way they play. They have faced NIGMA. It was actually Aggressive Mode that 2-0'd NIGMA, and basically with that 2-0, it was aggressive mode that secured themselves a place in the major playoffs. And it was NIGMA that just had to go straight to the minor playoffs. What's up, Kyle?
I'm just.
Are you just
wanted to
waiting for
make
me
a
to
joke.
say ninja again?
No, it's because I was just gonna be like, the funny thing about aggressive mode is they just play so aggressive. Then I started thinking about Cinderin saying the thing about Alchemist is that it's an Alchemist game, and now I'm just laughing. It's been a long day.
Is that?
You don't remember that? It was fun.
I remember it.
That's a very long time ago. And the thing is, you always
last
gotta.
month.
Yes, you always gotta remember what do the people at home still remember?
Oh, they're memeing. They think I'm an idiot, but that's fine.
I mean,
that's why I get hired.
I mean, there's no change there then, at least. No. I do, what was my point? My point was aggressive mode 2-0'd NIGMA in the group stages for the major, and then NIGMA 2-0'd aggressive mode in the playoffs for the minor. Actually, every playoff game that aggressive mode played, didn't matter against who, they lost it. So they did well in the groups, and then they lost they didn't even get a single win.
I think it's different for a new team versus the old dogs, right? Such as NIGMA, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone is looking at NIGMA. Everyone knows what they're doing. They're preparing for that. And then NIGMA, obviously, when they come and play versus these newcomers, such as aggressive mode, you don't know what they're drafting. You don't know. You might have seen 1 or 2 games that they played in the qualifiers, but it's not as easy to prep. It's not as easy to figure out what your strategy is going to be. That's why they lost the first series but won the second.
And I think the onus is really on NIGMA to find their identity, because it does seem like they're still searching. Even going back to TI, I know they finished second place, but they ran through that lower bracket on the back of a very select few strategies. Notably, Weeha's hero pool is just very limited. He was playing TA, Wind Ranger, and there were a couple Tinker games with Void.
Some Invoker here and there.
You can't really play Alchemist anymore.
He plays mean Void Spirit though nowadays.
Yes, that is.
It's a bit of hit and miss, but when it hits hard.
Yeah, it's hard to. The problem with NIGMA is that they don't really have anywhere to go, like other teams do, in the sense that they don't swap lanes as often. I know Miracle's played a bit of mid, but they want Wii on the aggressive playmaker. They want Miracle on a hard carry. And the way the game is right now, there's a lot of setups. Sometimes we prefer, like what Nip often does, where they have 3 twos. Same with Alliance. No traditional hard carry necessarily, but 3 heroes that are all going to scale. This isn't the way the NIGMA really like to play. So they're trying to figure out their place in the meta. They weren't able to do it in the qualifiers. It'd be cool to see if they can do it here.
They
Yeah.
did
Void
manage
Spirit's
to
a good way
win
to
the
go.
minor, right? They managed to win it. But it's still with that narrow hero pool that you just talked about. I think they're trying to fit the Wii into this spot in which Matumba was before.
Yeah.
But Matumba seemed to have an easier job doing that.
Yeah, he's just a different kind of player as well. I think that Wii is, again, great at these aggressive heroes, but he's not ideal on... I call them the Viper heroes, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
The Vipers and the Razors, the Dragon Knights. You don't really have the opportunity to make plays. It's
You
more
either play
subtle.
these Vipers, Dragon Knights, SFs, or you play your Meepos, Tinkers, Invokers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very few people play both.
It takes a certain mentality of the player as well. He needs to be the personality is different when you look at these people that play Tinkers and that play these standard Vipers and DK.
Now for NIGMA, they do, or rather, they seem to have been searching for Weeha's role. They've played 5 games. He's played 5 different heroes, ranging from his traditional Meepo. He's obviously one of those Meepo players/pickers. He's played Tiny. He's played Void. Zeus Leshrac. That's not his traditional heroes. Other than the Meepo, he played something unusual, at least from our perspective, because that's not what he usually plays. It's not really worked out. That's why they're not top of their group.
Perhaps they should take a little bit more of time until that kind of works out, right? Maybe that's the thing.
I mean, they have all the time they want, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't qualify for minor nor major. This is the only time they can practice in an actual LAN setting, which is the best quote-unquote practice you can get.
Yep.
It's such a rough thing to say as well. We need more time, because in this world, in the Dota world, you don't really have a lot of time.
No.
Every team, if you like Virtus Pro, they pretty much said we're gonna give Save and Epileptic Kids a lot of time. What? It was 1 qualifier and you boys are out.
VP though. to be
Yeah.
fair. They have certain
Standards, right?
Yeah, it's the kind of the trouble with winning, right? There's you're talking about backstage, the problem with Dota is you're only as good as your last event, right? So even me, Reddit, everyone's saying how NIGMA's washed up and they're bad now because they've lost the qualifier, when in reality, we all know how good they are. And I think another perhaps reason for their excellent performance at TI is these guys are all LAN players.
Yeah.
There's very few people that turn up on LAN. Weeha's certainly one of them. He's always been able to perform at TI. Same with Kuro. And I can't believe these guys just are still playing. Like, it's been like 15 years, you know, and they're still just grinding it out. I can't believe that. Like, it's just an accomplishment that Kuro is, like, still on stage, like, playing Dota this well.
Now, well, we heard him say in True Sight after he lost, God darn it, now I have to play another year.
Yeah.
He said it in a different
And
word.
he was
but-
like, at least you guys won a TI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a goal as well there.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, no, he didn't say that. He said, now I have to win 3. That's what he
Yeah.
said. Like, he needs
God.
to be the best.
Dude, life, oh man, I can't tell you how much more peaceful life is nowadays, because that like makes me think that was me. Like, literally my entire life was I'm gonna win TI.
Well,
you're-
that's not
all.
even
That's the only goal.
Kuro's goal. He wants to be the one that won most TIs. So after OG won 2, he's like, well, now I can't just win 2 anymore. That's not enough.
He wants to be the best.
He wants to be winning 3, so that he's the one that goes down in history as the best Dota player to have ever
He's gonna
walked the
he's
earth.
gonna be playing Dota for a really long time. That's the goal.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty mean. You don't
What?
think they can take the next TI?
They're not gonna win 2 more. What?
There's always a chance, surely.
Have you? No comment.
You just said that NIGMA is a team that steps up on LAN, that steps it up when they're playing in front of a crowd. They're definitely playing in front of a crowd, and Kuroki is definitely a hero to a lot of people in the CIS scene. So if you're asking about which team the fans here will back, I would imagine it's NIGMA.
It's rough waters ahead of them, though. That's
Yeah.
the thing. They've just lost the qualifiers, and it's all about how they come out after this next month and the next qualifiers. That's really what's important for them. Let's not talk about TI. Let's just see them qualifying for the next minor or major.
Yeah, one step at a time. I mean, you can always try to qualify for TI via the actual TI qualifiers as well.
And just be OG.
Yep, smooth sea mix for shitty sailors. That's how it goes, and you want to have trials and tribulations before TI, so when you get there, you're peaking.
But is that true for Dota though? Like for everything
Yeah,
else
no,
in life, like I can agree with you. But for this game, the more you lose, I have a feeling the worse you get, and you just don't learn anything from it. Your emotions get ahead of you, and
Well, that right there is probably the main reason I'm on this desk and not trying to be on stage, because you're effectively entire self-assessment is just based on
off
am
the
I
game.
winning or losing.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult to be in a happy place as you watch your competitors all go play at LANs and win money, and you're at home playing Dota pubs.
And
in North
speaking of
America.
happy places, I mean, we already talked a little bit about Spartan, but he always seems to be in his happy place. He's always upbeat, always happy. It's a fresh squad. I remember when it was formed, you know, they're called aggressive mode. Lil is among their ranks, and we all know that Lil is pretty vocal in-game and on Twitter, for example. What are we thinking about this squad? They're fresh. They already made it. Like, they made it to the major qualifier playoffs. They obviously did not qualify, but for a new-ish team, that's really good.
Close only counts with horseshoes and hand grenades, Sheaves.
What?
I guarantee. What?
What?
You never heard that expression?
No.
Okay, getting close doesn't matter, Sheaves, is what I'm saying. And it's actually proven fact, silver medalists at the Olympics feel worse than bronze medalists.
Well, I
'cause
know
they end
that
on a
one.
loss.
Yes, but at
Same
least
with aggressive mode.
well, they come here after a win. This is a very difficult one to work with. Let's talk about a little bit more about aggressive mode, because I think that they have had an amazing run, even though they came close and didn't make it. A team that, for example, you compare them to Bait. They are also a new squad. They didn't even come close.
nah, I think aggressive mode has more potential. They're
Yeah.
hungrier, if nothing else. And now I want to take just a little bit of time.
Dendy came out of retirement. You're saying he's not hungry? He was fishing at home with his kids?
Dude, there's one thing
like-
to win everything, go into retirement, and then be like, I might go play again. You know, the fire comes back, and there's
No.
a different thing is when your fire is just about to, you know.
I actually want to comment on that, because I've spoken with Dendy, because I think it was... it's actually quite impressive, really, talking to him, because he still burns with passion for Dota. Like, he wants to play. It's not about the money. It's not about anything other than he just
wants to
loves
play.
Dota. He wants to be the best at Dota again. It was crazy. I was talking with him at TI, because he was working on panels with us, and I thought he was like switching over to broadcasting, and he was dead serious. Like, no. I will play. Like, I am, like, he's still confident, not only that he'll play, but he's going to win. So I personally would bet on him. I think that he's going to have a bright career still.
Yeah.
But
Maybe not with his current squad the way it is.
the point, I'm just trying to disagree with Lizard. That's the point here. Lizard is wrong.
So
He just needs maybe the right squad and the right circumstances. I believe in him as well. I think he's super skilled. Like for forever now, he's been that way.
Yeah.
And do we believe in aggressive mode then?
Okay, so on the other team, there's this one
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that I played with named Borania that we discussed before. Like
he-
he's been around the tier 2, tier 3 scene for quite a long time, but I really believed in him.
Or learn. I'll use, like, Nisha as an example.
I think similar can be said for him for this mid laner. Like even my shitty ass teams. From before, we would obviously.
We're in different iterations, different teams. He was in Ninjas in Pajamas and he wasn't able to...
That was my favorite
I think I did.
favorite show.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think-
really-
I did.
Yeah.
We had that.
I might have
was a book.
sentence where they're coming down the stairs.
I don't...
Yeah, coming back to Skipper, he was in Penta
Yeah.
as well, and
Yeah.
for proving
Yeah.
himself.
Because it's very say, yeah, you know, he went from to this mega superstar being like that for your team, for example, if you are aggressive mode. Like, how do you know?
The job, you need experience.
Yeah.
Because when it, for Dota, you have to be a proof with you. So how do you...
It's
So you got to win with losers. The winners see that, and then you replace your losers with winners.
fond of losers where I'm an expert.
I got a PhD. All right.
These teams, like everyone knows, really mingle with us. They don't know who's gonna rise up. They have to be.
First two Ogre Medusa.
Win us the game,
Yeah,
please.
that was fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got noticed.
I think they beat us with that. I was so Medusa. We banned Medusa. We felt, well, you know, we're dumb for not doing it in the first place, but I've also not banned Meepo quite a few times. So let's focus on some other topic.
Let's not talk about Dota. Is that what you're saying? Like,
Are you
something else.
like are you
Something
I'm
different.
reliving all these
focused
things.
away from losing or focused away from the Dota or focused away from the series? What do you want to do?
I don't
Because
know.
I can just, I would prefer to focus on NIGMA versus aggressive mode because even though it's a best of one, there is a lot at stake here because if you win, wait a second, the winner will play against B8 tomorrow and will be on secret half of the bracket where you will meet them in the upper bracket.
But it's still the upper bracket.
But it's still the upper bracket.
Yeah.
I think we will.
So
Yeah,
you
if you go the
Right.
winning route,
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah, I think we're going to be underway pretty soon, by the way, I assume, from the cheering I heard behind me. I can't understand.
I don't know, maybe he just asked who's ready for some Dota, or maybe he asked like who wants to have some food. I think he'd get the same cheer. Who wants free pizza? Same
If I
cheer.
just move like this, I believe you can even see the casters, the Russian casters,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
standing on top of the stage.
They are- oh, I
right
can't
there,
really?
casting. Yeah, they're on top.
What the?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're on top of the stage. It's
That's
really
so
cool.
cool.
Yeah, we got.
we're even higher though.
I feel like that's a really cool thing. Because they did that at we did that sort of at not WePlay. We were close to the stage. That's dope though. I like that.
That's nice. I don't think you would like it though, Kyle, because you have to stand the whole time.
That's fine. Standing is it's okay.
So-
We have a lot of people. I've been
We do.
Yesterday I talked to them and they said even though they have around 400 seats,
They-
over 2,000 people applied to come. So
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's like so the way I believe it works is that you can apply for a ticket and then you can show up and then you can sit down. But if someone leaves,
you can come in.
you can come in. So they'll have multiple people. So there should never be an empty stadium. Actually, I see so many people just sitting on the stairs on the side as well. So
It's
yeah.
great. This is why
cool.
everyone loves Kiev, right? This is esports mecca, and
Dude,
it's always
esports
fun.
mecca.
You have WePlay,
with
you have Maincast, you have Navi here, you have Star Ladder. It's
you've got Puppy and Dendy and Karaoke, and I believe is Avos doing that on the
Was?
talent
Yeah, I think so.
lineup.
Yes, yes, he's here.
So that's 4 players from the all-star squad that was Navi, back in the day. So that is a lot of people's roots in terms of who they were a fan of at the start. So yeah, it is a really good tournament to visit. Also, the chairs are actually super comfy. They're like the cinema chairs, It's
Our
it's a
chairs
cool
are
thing.
never comfortable though. Like
but
that
that's
is actually
good.
something I want. Yeah, I guess.
Otherwise, you slouch.
I know, but I like to slouch. There's never any back
That's
support. We
why
always
I
have
said you
stool.
don't want to
I had
stand.
no problem so far.
You're just yeah. Also, I don't know how to wear this either. I'm messing up. Hang on a second.
You
I
can't mess it up. Just
I don't think you
Just
can
put
mess
it
up
on.
either.
Yeah, do anyone else feel like I look like Ryan Gosling? Not handsome, but Blade Runner? No?
that's the team, isn't it?
Like,
I
yeah.
guess it's
Yeah.
a little bit the theme. It's true.
She's
Well,
kind of looks like
Death
Xena Warrior Princess. You remember that?
I do know that. She never had her hair in braids. She always had like because I know this because I
don't
wanted
know
to
this.
wear my hair the same way because it was just a simple like back tail, the ponytail at the back with the half ponytail. I don't know how to explain that,
Yeah,
but it
the
wasn't
Tomb
as
Raider look.
fancy as all this that I got in my hair today.
Looks
Pretty
very futuristic though.
Thank you. That's the
Great.
goal. We're Mad Moon, not werewolf Mad Moon that Kyle had in mind, but more like futuristic cyberpunk Mad Moon.
Yeah. Do you have this pouch, by the way?
No.
in your torso?
Wow.
Yeah, I can put my phone in this. Well, look, like,
You
easy.
got any snacks in there?
Dude, do you want
That's-
some?
Sure.
Yeah, here. Take it.
What is that? What? Oh, there's nothing in there.
Later.
I thought there was a bit. I was like,
What did you think?
I don't know what I
just wa-
expected. I looked inside of it. It was empty. I thought there's a false bottom, maybe. Which are really cool. I've always I don't live anywhere, so I don't have any place for stuff. But if I ever do have a place to put stuff, I want to get a box with a false bottom and put all my important stuff in it.
Oh, yeah, you just told the whole world that if you ever have a house and someone's gonna break into Kyle's house, he has a box with a false bottom, guys. So
That's what I want them to think.
All planned.
instead, it will be a drawer with a false back.
No, the secret is you gotta unscrew the power outlet, and then put the stuff in there. 'Cause
was
There's
it.
a ton of room a lot of the time, like in the
Yeah.
crawl space of walls. That's where I hide all my cash.
All
that I
right, Breaking
didn't win.
Bad.
Okay, you actually again just told people where you
I don't
hide
have
all your
anything.
cash.
I don't have anything. What would you steal from me? I have 23 kilograms worth of belongings.
You just get one of your bags, and that's like half your have everything you own.
Yes. Well, not everything. I've ditched a lot of things at different houses along the way.
You might know something about
I mean,
that.
I got a backpack of Kyle's clothes
They did
in my house.
Oh, it's true. They said one backpack worth. That is a full backpack
Yes.
of just stuff.
And I recently found 2 of your socks as well, some random place.
I took 2 of Owen's, by the way. Meant to fess up to that, but
Typical.
yeah.
I
so
would-
it's fine. It's fair. You
Are they the same?
no.
No, never. From Owen.
One's got polka dots. One has bicycles. But I don't like wearing matching socks.
No,
he-
Owen
he
doesn't
doesn't
either,
either,
so
yeah.
you're good.
Yeah. It's like to me. It's just if you think about it, who would you rather? If you knew nothing about 2 different people, right? But you knew one was wearing matching socks and one wasn't, who would you want to hang out with?
I'm not going to let that be decided by the stocks. By the way,
But
I
it's
just
all
want to
you
give you guys an update. We are waiting for the game to start, and hopefully we will get it on the way soon. We're just having some lobby things happening, and hopefully we'll get NIGMA versus aggressive mode on the way very soon. But until then, we are here with you to talk Dota and also to talk about
Socks.
everything else under the sun, including socks. And if you're wearing two of the same ones or two different ones,
Yeah.
actually, you know, I was always of the same ones all the time. If I would be one of the people that if I hang my socks out to dry, I already tried to pair them up beforehand and
Same.
stuff. And then then Owen is the complete opposite. He's like, I need two socks. Doesn't matter if they're the same
Yes,
or not.
exactly.
And it's
that's
like
what I'm
that
saying.
actually is such a like.
How much time have you wasted
A lot.
on your socks?
A
That's what I'm
lot.
saying. Just let yourself be free. Also, pee in the shower.
I don't know how we got to that one, but
That's one step too much.
I don't think so.
It's too much.
It's easy. If, in a friend's house, pee in the drain. An enemy's house, back of the tub. You know what I'm saying? No?
do we have to get extra cleanage for our shower?
I don't.
Are they friends or enemies?
Huh? Well, it's just, I don't know. It saves so much time. It's like, it's just, yeah. Anyway.
I believe at least the lobby has started, so we will soon be getting into the draft. So let's just recap everything we talked about with these teams, or at least the highlights what we talked about with these teams and what is important in this matchup. NIGMA is coming off a loss. They are the ones that I feel like have more to prove to both themselves and to their fans in this upcoming best of one. It is a best of one though, and it will mostly decide
One game.
seeding. One
Only
game.
One game.
Yeah, I guess you cannot not really call it best of one. I mean, it is best of one, but it's one game. On the side of aggressive mode, they came off a win. We saw them win against Ninjas in Pajamas yesterday, and they are actually on the up, I would say. Also a lot to prove to themselves and to their fans. And yeah, what are we expecting though? Because we do have two teams coming from completely different routes.
I think from aggressive mode, you're expecting these hungry boys that really want to win no matter what. They don't really care too much about learning and improving. It all comes at one point, right? But they really want to prove themselves and win. On the other hand, you have NIGMA. They might care a lot about winning right now because they're on a down low, but at the same time, for them, it's mostly about figuring themselves out and just learning what works for them in this particular squad in the end.
Yeah, and also, I think the thing that's going to have to change is just the way they approach the draft, which will improve over time, of course. But I feel like it's sort of a common thread where this team seems to lose more drafts than win, but they win games purely because they're just better than other people. Notably, Miracle. I think that he's the guy that's going to need to shine here.
Aggressive mode opens up with that Shadow Demon. Now listen, Skylark and Spartan, they've been rocking this Shadow Demon for as long as I can remember them.
Yeah.
Like Spartan has been picking this, like we pretty much started playing in the tier 3 scene in Europe
But
at the same time, and they always play the Shadow Demon.
But they gave away Wisp Tiny. Do you know the hero combination throughout Dota history with more than 100 games played that has by far the highest win rate in Dota 2 history?
Could it be Wisp Tiny?
That is true.
Wow.
I'm not actually sure if that's true, but I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm also pretty sure that a lot of that comes from previous patches.
Yeah, sure, but still.
Alliance as well, long time ago.
Yeah.
This is also, I'm surprised we don't see more Enigma. I think this hero like just kind of fits into the archetype that wins. It's incredible. This is the counter to Wisp, in my opinion. You have multiple sources of pure damage. Your pulse is HP percentage-based damage, and you have a BKB black hole.
It's been changed a little bit, right, Enigma, but overall I think it's still alright. However, they picked Enigma in the first phase, and they haven't banned out a single hero that's good against it.
Yeah, I think
your Silencers, Rubiks are still in, Winter Wyverns as well that work well with Wisp.
I'm terrified of a Wyvern pick right now.
It would
I
be
think that's
really good, yeah.
It's also because it's very good against Shadow Demon. You can expect there's going to be some kind of illusion core coming out, and Wyvern just like...
It's also really good versus Wisp, right? So you're taking that hero away from them, the possibility of them taking it, and also it's good with Wisp because of all that heal, plus the Tiny.
And it's also a BKB cancel, to your point. It's just, it kind of answers all the questions we'd have for Enigma in their quest to win this game. I like the Lifestealer ban. There's no chance you're picking it here against Enigma and Shadow Demon. Two forms already in the opener.
You can pick it, and also it's pretty good versus IO Tiny combo, so that's just banning it out.
Yeah, what is, other than that, good, and obviously the Winter Wyvern, good against the IO Tiny combo? How do you prepare for that, or is Enigma alone already enough for that? Like, do you need more, or is Enigma good enough?
No, I don't think it's good enough. I think you need more for that. You need to answer the Wisp and Tiny.
It's so funny. I was looking at Spartan's screen. When he drafts his own hero, apparently he just clicks the, the complexity at the bottom. He just clicks the 1 star and just randoms the hero.
So we're
I would
expecting
not
some
say that
Augurs, some
Shadow
Bane.
Demon is that easy, though.
The way they play it.
He doesn't
there-
actually do it.
There are some Shadow Demon
I
players,
don't-
they run around, they try to poison people, get those 5 stacks. He
Yeah.
runs around, disrupts, and waits for the follow-up of his teammates.
Yeah.
But nah, Spartan is good.
I like this Chen pick. It's a different way of addressing the Enigma. The hero is weak, much like pretty much every other Helmdom minion hero, like Visage as an example, where you're very strong in the mid game once you get online, but you don't really do a damn thing before you get levels and farm. Chen is going to be able to not just help his team win the lane, but then you're also able to dive the Enigma, because you're going to be pulling the lane back thanks to denies. You're going to lose in a straight up, we're just going to farm trade. You need to be able to kill the Enigma as your wave pushes in, and you want to be able to take his tower. And that's exactly what this Chen pick can do. Like the Mag, another way of answering BKBs on this team. But
Especially this new Chen as well, right? Because he rushes Max so fast, it seems like he does Enigma's job a little bit better than him, right? He gets all the heals, all the utility early on. You have Hand of God that's been buffed multiple times, and then that Black Hole doesn't even kill anyone. But now aggressive mode, look at this. You have RP and you have Black Hole. It's a lot of team fight.
Did Virtus Pro ban out the Chen every game yesterday in the series with Enigma?
I think
they must have. I'm surprised this
I
hero
think
isn't
it's picked
first
once.
viewed.
Yeah.
It kind of boggles my mind. Like, OG is really abusing these Chen Furion heroes as supports primarily, and I feel like no one else is valuing it as high.
Especially when people realized how strong the level 2-3 creeps are in that small camp. Like you get
Dude,
that whole assassin, you can't heal. Tango doesn't work versus that.
And Kuro is so comfortable on that hero. It is scary. Like, I'd say ban it out, maybe second phase at least every time against Nick.
And my problem with it is that it's one of those it's so abusable by these players with high Dota IQ. You gotta think that Kuro is probably one of the best players in Dota, by far one of the most intelligent. And you're giving him this hero that can sort of marshal his troops around the map. Now all of a sudden they've got global mobility thanks to the summon in. They're gonna have powerful early game. And you just sort of put yourself in this position. If you look at the draft right now, aggressive mode are all in on this idea. We're going to have these massive team fights. We're going to win the game. They're playing against like Wisp and Chen. These heroes are going to just play around the map. They're not going to give you team fights. They're going to take your towers and out-farm you.
Not only do you have resummon from Chen, you also have relocate. The only thing lacking right now that I can see on the side of NIGMA is setup. They desperately need heroes that can set up these plays. The Wisp and Tiny relocates, the resummons from Chen. Or you can go completely a different direction and just be the team that pushes. But that can be pretty scary versus Enigma and Magnus. Like you said before, if you focus on one side, on the side of Enigma, aggressive mode, they can counter that super easily. They have layers of these team fights. You have Black Hole, Midnight Pulse, you have a DRP too.
Should you be worried about that? That they, like for aggressive mode, that at the moment they do rely on all these big cooldowns? Don't you want some short cooldowns as well? Or at least maybe not like... You want something that allows you to fight even if you do not have that Black Hole and...
First, we don't
RP?
even know what Enigma is, right? Is
True.
it position 4, is it offlane? We don't know that yet. And also, they have 2 more picks to deal with that.
Yeah, but you now have to deal with... You can handle the Wisp now, right?
Is the
You've got the
Slark
count. It's a very good Slark game.
Yeah,
Slark
bad.
is PL banned?
PL
Yes.
is banned. So
Yeah.
I think this would be a great Star game.
Yeah.
Versus the Wisp, it's one of the best heroes versus Batrider. Bat pretty much wouldn't do anything because this is an offlane Bat.
Yep.
Most likely, at least.
They need that kind of hero, something that gets stronger within the fights, that has staying power. You've got team fight. You need something that can also hunt for you aggressively. It's another reason Slark's excellent here. Plus, of course, the Empower. He'll be able to farm faster, deal extra damage,
Having-
even lane well.
having
It's
that
really good
hero-
against Chen, too.
Having that hero that gets on top of Wisp, that gets on in the backlines. Yeah, you don't really buy Blink Dagger or Shadow Blade any longer on Slark, but you can still buy an Axe and get on top of Wisp super easily. So that's always something that you can look for when you're playing versus Wisp combinations.
Well put.
Also, I talked. Oh, Weaver. All right, this is you don't have the Slark with the Shadow Blade or anything, but you have this super mobile Weaver that's able to get behind in those backlines onto the Wisp, and it's good versus Bat.
It's also a much faster timetable, where Slark would peak, come online around maybe like 20, 25 minutes. Weaver, you play with a teleport. The moment you're level 7, level 6, 5 even, you are you're a threat. Like, you just TP in and kill people. You have bugs, you're going to be able to find the Wisp earlier, and he can, as early as maybe 10 minutes in, just start playing enemy jungle. There's really no catch for him until Bat has a blink. So
for NIGMA though, the Tiny, they played GH on Tiny, but we also saw Weeha play Tiny yesterday. And Tiny, if like especially now, don't you want to put him as a core because his combo can blow up Weaver?
This should be your core Tiny.
Yeah.
Look at these other heroes. You have Chen and Wisp. Those two are support,
that's
100%. So unless it's a Wisp mid like we saw yesterday from Secret, but I doubt it.
Well, never say never. We learn our lesson there. But yeah, that means that a core Tiny is super strong against Weaver. Before he gets super big, like if Weaver even gets slowed down a little bit on lane, he'll get blown up by the combo of the Avalanche toss every time.
We talked about Spartan and how he likes to be this maniac that just runs and sets up the fight, right? I think he needs to approach this game differently. This Weaver must not die in one lasso or in one stun toss combo. He needs to be the one that uses those disruptions to save the Weaver, and if that happens, I believe the team fights should be a lot easier for them. Omni Knight ban.
Omni Knight ban. So indeed, NIGMA, like regardless of which lane they are gonna do their heroes, they want to at least prevent more saves from coming online at the aggressive
it's just
mode
straight
lane.
up counter to the RP as well.
Yeah.
You want to make.
He said
my
he's gonna pick
goodness.
techies. There you go.
Okay.
He didn't lie.
He did not lie. We thought he was kidding. We mentioned it even, but we thought he was kidding. All right, talk to me about techies from a competitive point of view, please.
No clue. I've been trying to ignore that hero's existence for the last 4 years, and I am thoroughly unprepared to discuss techies in a competitive environment.
The first panel I ever had with you guys, like 1.5 years ago, we got into this argument in which I was saying, leave techies alone, and you were flaming the living hell out of the hero.
Hey, it's cool here, right? And there's the Visage. Wow.
Is it?
That's the Visage. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's the hero I'm surprised they haven't been picking. I've been waiting for the Visage DP Enigmas to come back into the meta because creep heroes are still busted, and this is really powerful, very good against techies as well. This is a very scary lineup for Enigma. If they get rolling, I don't see any kill potential in aggressive mode. They are purely all in on team fighting, and I just don't know if Enigma's going to give you one until they're attacking your tier 3s.
Yeah.
Does that mean that is Enigma or Shadow Demon in position 3? Like, what's happening with the rest? Because I thought Spartan, because there's
Enigma
Spartan
should
playing
be.
techies.
I don't know.
Oh, we can't see who's playing what until into the game. But I am going to ask you the questions of what we think is going to happen this game.
Oh.
Like, how is techies going to do?
It's going to do terribly, Sheaves, and Enigma's going to absolutely destroy aggressive mode in like 18 minutes.
But techies games normally last really long.
Yeah, okay, it'll be 18 or 80.
It's going to be a 6-hour game like that last pub game that I saw with techies where they defended for the full day.
6 hours
it's gonna
game or
happen.
something?
Yeah, 6 hours game
Yeah.
coming up.
Hope you're ready.
I'm not. Well,
No one is.
but no, let's you know, do you really think that NIGMA is going to win in 20 minutes this game specifically? Especially, I guess Visage has a super high pace.
yeah, it's just this draft is like their bread and butter. They have some of the best players in the world on arguably all top 3 best heroes for the players, and they're against techies.
Their lineup looks very simple. I don't know where they're going with this techies pick. It looks very easy for Enigma.
All right, I hope that this game, regardless of the result, will be an entertaining one. We'll see how techies does in this competitive environment. Let's head over to ODPixel and Gods.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yeah, really looking forward to this one after seeing that draft, Parker. We're getting some great heroes in this. You know, we already were having like this Magnus Enigma coming out from aggressive mode. A whole lot of fun to watch. There's some fantastic potential with team fights, and then they top it off with the techies. I mean, we have potential for an incredibly long game. I hope so. I hope we're going to see them sort of messing around and sort of trying to break down NIGMA. It could happen. But at the same time, NIGMA, they've got some pretty solid picks, right? They've got the Tiny IO, the Chen. They finish it off with a little bit of a different flair. The Visage, you know, hero used to be quite the expert in. Where does this hero stand at the moment?
The hero kind of fell off. Fell off a cliff with some of the changes. All these melee heroes get freezed out shields. The bird damage got nerfed to the ground. I'm not a big fan of where Visage is at right now, but if there's a game for it, this game is like perfect Visage game. You're against a late game draft, these big long cooldown ultimates, the Enigma, the Magnus you mentioned. These are the kind of heroes Visage is great at punishing. So If anyone can make it work, it's Weeha. If there's a game for it, it's this one. I'm not convinced yet.
No. I mean, we will see. Of course, NIGMA's road so far has been a little hit and miss. Weeha's had some tough games. We'll see how he does do in the mid matchup as the hero. I mean, when it comes down to the laning, is the hero still very strong in 1v1s?
Oh, it's shockingly bad.
It's bad. Okay.
In pre-level 6, he's probably going to be down like 30 CS to 10. This hero cannot last hit to save its life. If Weeha goes even on CS, I'll be incredibly impressed. Lil looks ready to techies. He's got a good winter set going on.
Yeah, this is going to be perfect. Because Lil, you know, he's had some. He's quite an interesting character, as we've come to learn from his presence on social media, and the perfect sort of player to pick up and play at techies. He's ready to troll. He's ready to make you mad.
Yeah, he's gone for the mine. So there's a couple different ways to play techies. Went back to base for mana and then TP'd to lane. So NIGMA's going to have full mana. It's going to deny a lot of creeps. This is some weird-ass lane. I don't know what the hell's going on that one.
Right.
This isn't Dota.
No, we'll see what Lil's got in store for us down the line. Of course, you know, he's going to have to wait quite a bit until he has the 3 charges back up and he's able to try and attempt something like that again, clearing the wave. And as you mentioned, you know, having this level 1, there really isn't any threat to the heroes. You know, you can start laying down mines around the lane. But especially a lane like this, Miracle GH, there's going to be the sustain there, likely to be constantly at full HP. So
just give him free Eidolons. Like, you're playing against Tiny. Like, he's denying creeps, but he's also feeding extra creeps with the Eidolons, and Tiny the perfect hero to kill them off. So could be a rough lane for aggressive mode, I feel.
Yeah, it's sort of like, what do they do there? It's a hard lane to play, and it's if they want to start pulling it around, kind of one of these heroes wants to be able to do that and get the benefit. You don't really want to have sort of 2 heroes up there relying on just pulling to get levels.
Good news is mid lane is going to be a complete stomp, at least pre-level 6. Weeha doing okay so far. You actually want the creeps under your tower. He's 5-1 just because the wave goes under the tower. Your only hope to win the last hit battle is to have the tower on your side, even though lasting on the tower generally frowned upon. Visage, in a matchup like this, one of the few scenarios you want to last hit under tower.
Yeah, and I'll be excited to see sort of how far Borny is able to get in the early stages, because you know, this hero it's one of the dream heroes to be on when you get the space to clear up that whole area. So there's 4 neutral creeps camps surrounding the mid lane. You get a good start. You're going to be able to, after you get sort of the second brace's treads, clear those all out in that minute if there's no one contesting.
Duking.
He's hiding. But they'll find him. So there you go. First blood finally falls. 2 minutes in. NIGMA.
Oh, he got the courier. The courier was hiding under there. And
well, they might get the trade kills. Skeeter. He's onto mind control. Doesn't want to commit, though. A little worried. Even though he does have the full 1, just doesn't want to chase any further. Is aware that they likely do have that sentry placement down on that bottom lane.
So not the start aggressive mode we're hoping for with that bot lane, but yeah, I mean, it's a Batrider plus Chen. This is not a lane I really expect aggressive mode to come out on top of.
And this top lane, I'm just seeing Eidolons and mines being fed to the Tiny. Here we go, in he goes.
Yeah,
and then it'll just get healed up.
Player.
I don't know. We'll have to sort of check the data on that, but it's not definitely the start that you'd imagine that you're trying to have as a techies.
Yeah, his play is doing some talking about how many pub games he's maybe played of the hero, but either way, a game that, as far as the outcome goes, both these teams will advance to the winner bracket. And it does seem like the aggressive mode team, speaking to them before the game, it sounded like they were going to have maybe a bit of fun with this one and do something a bit more experimental when it comes to the picks. But yeah, so mid lane, doubling the CS. Magnus, 18-10 denies to the 9-4 of Visage, but as mentioned, these last hits under tower, the one time Weeha can actually get last hits.
Yeah, and I don't think there's not really too much that NIGMA can do about this. I think, you know, as you mentioned, when they picked it, they accepted that it was going to start off like this in the mid lane. You can't really gank the Magnus. He's got his 2 braces. He's going to go in for the treads, of course, next. And at that point, he's just far too tanky for any of these heroes to even consider trying to fight. Yeah, they can try and come across, maybe block some of the camps or push him away from this area, but it's hard. This hero is just so beefy early on and clears camps incredibly quickly.
Visage will catch up once you get that level 6. Oh, a little bit of harass coming in. And then you can farm the jungle, push the lane, and pose more. That's when you can gank the mid lane with those familiars in play. So Weeha just looking to get that. He's going to find a fortunate regen rune up top, it looks like. So that's going to help his lane out as well. Magnus, nice play, immediately cancelling, and actually could pose a bit of a kill threat here.
There's a lot of damage, and needs a few too many more hits, and I won't want to dive any further, but you're seeing, yeah, as you say, you know, Weeha is not only just very hard for him to get CS in this lane, if he is a little too far forward, skewer in, and the pullback from the shockwave could put him over the edge. So he's got to be careful on the Visage.
What's old Lil up to here?
What's his plan now?
Yeah, has the second point in the landmines, get some vision down, may have been looking for like a courier kill or something. He's just going to clear some creeps. So it looks like Enigma's going to jungle and Techies is going to take over the lane now. I kind of like this idea. I think Enigma just can't lane. Those Eidolons is just free money for Tiny, so just Techies wave cutting while Enigma jungles. Actually, a solid plan. But Tiny's come in just because of the Bounding Rune. I don't think he's actually looking to play in the Enigma's jungle and contest the jungle. He just wants to get some free gold for his team.
Yeah, I mean, this sort of works. I mean, Enigma, it sort of depends on when Miracle wants to start getting active and starting to react to this and looking to try and punish them. I think for the most part, they themselves, Miracle's going to be very happy just soaking up the free farm in that top lane. But definitely showing that aggressive mode are going to be able to get that benefit as well. Still not quite as much overall. 5 minutes in, it is a 1K lead for Nigma. I mean, they knew he was here, but GH not being too wise with the courier movements will lose it to Lil.
Yeah. And these teams said they're going to be fun, but this game so far, a bit of a snoozer. There's not much action. Both teams, other than this bottom lane, are basically avoiding each other in lane. Mid lane's a farm trade. Top lane isn't really a lane. It's just Tiny free farming while Enigma jungles and Techies does what we've seen Techies do, which is nothing all too interesting so far. So until some of these rotations start happening, it's going to be kind of uneventful. Batrider, to me, one of the big key heroes that can look to maybe rotate top to mess with that. If Techies keeps trying to go for that wave cutting or you want to make some plays. But yeah, Mind Control's the guy who's having a great time early on, and he's going to be very active, I imagine, this game. Could go for like a fast boot to travel and really just play the whole map.
Yeah, I mean, you see as well, he was really good up for aggression out lane. He still has 4 mangoes to go through as the bat on the bottom lane.
Key thing for Weeha is he cannot afford to lose these birds. He, I believe, has the 1 point in the passive, but may even be worth using like an RP to kill birds.
He's actually gotten 3 in the passive.
Okay, okay. That I like, because I think without the extra points, your birds are just too squishy, and Magnus can easily cleave them down.
See down bottom, a bit of an attempt on some Mind Control. Now set up and surround him. Mind Control's got the Firefly. The wand is popped, and in fact, he turns. He's able to kill off Spartan, and now he can try and threaten Skeeter a little bit. Skeeter has to Shikuchi away. Mind Control baiting them in there, and did he just draw a penis? I don't know if that was intentional, but I mean, if it wasn't, that was an amazing, unintentional, massive phallic symbol that Mind Control. I mean, wow, beautiful.
He got the kill before he finished the drawing. I think he finished it.
I don't know if we could do replays, but that one needs one. Wow, Mind Control. What an artist at heart. That's modern art for you there, right there.
Yep. Gone are the days of mini-map drawings. We've progressed.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he's able to pull out any more creative activity this game.
Very deep in that enemy jungle. He's just like, where do I go farm? Let's try find the enemy side of the map. Miracle free farming away, kind of reminiscent of that Medusa game of his where he's just going completely uncontested, getting bonus farm from the jungle. And that is a big concern, considering that's when Nigma are at their best, when Miracle can just have this free farm style of game.
Spartan.
He's
accepting his fate here.
Yep. Nope. Courier snipe from the Enigma. Oh, one more right click, not going to find it.
I mean, the lead, it's a 3K lead at the moment for Nigma. It's growing, and they're
crushing it.
Pretty early, 8 minutes in to have this difference, and aggressive mode not really being able to find any kills at all themselves. See, of course, the Magnus continuing just standard build here. It will have the Echo Saber up next on his shopping list. Then almost certainly will go for the Blink. Now, the great thing about Magnus is you obviously do farm very, very fast, but it still takes, it's a decent amount of time where you're like, well, I want to finish my Echo, I want to finish my Blink before you actually start considering helping out your side lanes.
Yeah, and these side lanes going pretty bad.
So you have to make sure you make something amazing happen when your Echo Saber and Blink's done, because up until that point, your team's sort of screaming at you at the mid lane and saying, dude, you're spending a lot of time farming. We need to do some sort of fighting. And Barnea, he is going to try and get involved, but a quick play from Mind Control. He'll get the lasso off before the RP's there, and now there's not the space for Barnea to get in there and actually use the RP. So a painful move there from the Magnus. He tries to get something done early on. But some quick thinking from Mind Control puts a stop to the gank.
Yeah, really clever lasso in that IOTP, making sure they can get him out safely. Panel mentioned, well, Kyle specifically said 20-minute GG is what NIGMA are looking for, and right now everything is on track for that. A huge gold lead out of the laning stage. It's been a very passive game. They've not taken any towers except that tier 1 top with the IO Tiny, but their lineup comes online very soon. We're going to see the Helm of the Dominator on the Visage. We'll probably see Chen building towards like a mech. Often these Chens don't even get boots. And towers are going to crumble once NIGMA get those first items. Already Mask of Madness on Tiny with treads. He pushes incredibly fast as well. And I don't think aggressive mode have much to defend these towers with, is the scary thing. They've got a Techies who has hit level 6, but you know, you can't just expect to be able to stack up some remote mines and for NIGMA to not have sentries.
No, definitely not. NIGMA's going to be very prepared for that. But hey, who knows? You know, even to the best of us, it can happen when you're suddenly pushing up into high ground and suddenly everybody goes kaboom. So it can happen.
Miracle seeing some juicy idle on farm. He's got the, what looks like SMY queued up next, maybe?
All right, Mask of Madness SMY into Desto. There's the tower killing, that's the fighting build.
I think NIGMA probably just having a bit of a laugh right now about how straightforward this game looks for them. Obviously, like you say, there is big ultimates on the Radiant side, playmaking possibilities with the Techies, the high ground defense, and even if they don't walk into mines, you've got a skewer. So your Techies is probably telling Magnus, get this blink as soon as possible so we can make some skewer plays.
Oh, there you go.
There we go, yeah.
There we go. We'll claim a kill. Kuro gets caught a little too close to the mines here, and in fact, the stasis trap freezing NIGMA up. NIGMA are going to push on forward. They're going to come in with the TPs, jump forward. Lil with the blast off. Brings Mind Control down low, but he already has the lasso off. Dragging Spartan in. Spartan will fall. Mind Control also goes down. Skylark, he's holding them nicely here with his 2-man black hole, but there isn't the damage to follow up. Miracle's able to simply kill him off. Turn towards the Weaver, forcing Skeeter to time-lapse back to safety. He will manage to escape, but a very easy team fight win for NIGMA as they take down 3. They only lose the bat, and that was the black hole being used there in an attempt to get things going their way.
They've got the Alpha Wolf as well, probably the preferred creep to have when you're a Visage with this helm. You can just kind of have it follow your birds and hero around, giving it that bonus attack damage, amplifying your push even further, and they'll get a tier 2 tower. That glyph going on cooldown also, trying to defend it. So if NIGMA want, they can go for a fast Roshan and look to high ground, maybe even before 20 minutes. Glyph is so important against Visage because it gives you that multi-hit attack that can kill the birds so easily, since it doesn't have the damage. You don't get your passive damage reduction against tower shots.
May become the sort of game where aggressive mode's best bet is to try and hold it from the high ground, to try and stall it, but it's going to be tough. I mean, Miracle is just so farmed on this Tiny. I mean, he's been entire 3 farm, of course, with the way they played that top lane. Yep. Miracle had no sort of pressure on him. He's pretty much got perfect CS, 141 hit, 12 minutes in. It doesn't really get that much better than that as a Tiny. And, you know, this is not just a Tiny, it is a Tiny backed up by a GHIO. So I don't know where the answer's going to come for this Tiny.
Me neither.
He's got a full... It's 30 minutes in.
I don't see it right now.
SMY, Mask of Madness, they're taking all of these outer towers away from aggressive mode.
Give me a few minutes to think about how they might answer this Tiny, but
I mean,
the game may also end in that few minutes.
Dude, he's going to have the Desto. He's far before 20 minutes. Like,
yeah, this is insane.
This is probably reaching, you know, probably one of the most farmed Tinies at this point of the game. I'm sure we've got some stats men at home watching, but this is, it's got to be. This is ridiculous amount of farm on Miracle.
Yep. And they may be looking to go high ground. As mentioned, the glyph being on cooldown, very big deal. Actually, it may have been refreshed by the tier 1 tower being claimed bottom. Either way, NIGMA's ready to start poking. The Midnight Pulse trying to delay this one, but
I mean, look at the tower.
Shredding.
It's going down. They've got to come up with some sort of answer. He's trying to step in. He's playing around with the idea for an RP, Bornea. But he cannot get in. The tier 3's gone. NIGMA just stands their ground. They're going to start hitting onto the racks here 13 minutes in. I mean, Miracle's farm, you know, he has double the farm of a Magnus who, I mean, I think it's fair to say, the Magnus had a pretty free lane. And he's half the net worth of Miracle's Tiny right now at 14 minutes.
Yeah, this is...
The Desto, it's going to be a 15-minute Desto. It just needs 1,200 more if you can find. Well, okay, 1,200 in a minute is quite a lot, but
A 15-minute Deso as your first item is a good timing, you know?
Yeah,
If
that's
you're
what
going
like
Deso
a TA
first,
has.
yeah,
or something,
exactly. Oh, 15-minute
Oh, okay.
Deso and TA, that's good timing. Oh, this is a Mask of Madness SMY Deso.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game isn't feeling much like a Dota 2 game right now.
No. Miracle's just sort of cruising along.
And yeah, this is not plays to be made. Like even with these big teamfight ultimates, you black hole, you RP them, it doesn't actually get you anything. They're going to play around the map. They're going to push towers. Io's going to be outside those and just be able to save somebody who gets caught.
There we go. WeHeart does get RP'd, and he is quite far away. We'll see if he can play around the birds. Now, see, there's the backup. Miracle will be brought in by GH's relocate. WeHeart will finally fall, but they'll get Boronier in turn. Miracle's ready to start chasing down more. Spartan and Skeeter, they've got to run away from these two heroes. In fact, Miracle's going to be taken back. I wonder if he's going to start eyeing up Roche. Once they have the Desolator, it's definitely a possibility. Because he just does so much damage, and I mean, yeah, here we go. A couple more stacks, and 15 minutes in, Treads, Mask of Madness, S&Y, Desolator. I don't think we've ever seen that before.
Gets a Van Bracer, some even more stats on it, so he's going to be one beefy fella.
Spartan, he's got to be a little careful here. He does manage to get the disruption off. That will save him. Lil's trying to cut creep waves with his mines. They just want to sort of buy time for something aggressive mode. I don't know quite what that would be.
No, doesn't stun the blast off, but mind control, they're waiting. And into the Roche pit we go. A little underfarmed on the Batrider, but one of those games where mind control, if he goes in these lanes by himself or tries to get farm, he will get picked off, so he's been playing a bit more conservatively. But they've got the mech up now as well on NIGMA, so pretty much everything they need to go high ground with this Aegis. I imagine they just put it on Miracle and have him go and just hit building.
I don't know how aggressive mode stopped the push. I mean, their mines are their best bet, but at this stage, I don't think any sort of number of mines is going to be enough to stop this.
Yes.
There's a full pipe done on WeHeart as well, ready to buff them up for the push.
Spoiler alert, they don't stop it. No. There is no answer to this, and they're probably just going to crumble. I don't think there's much more to it. I mean, I'm curious to see what their idea is, but legitimately, this Tiny is completely out of control, has taken over the game, and has an IO backing him up, so he's not just, a 17-minute Tiny with these items, with a IO to beef him up even further, with a Visage, with a mech, with the Helm of the Dominator aura, with no longer an Alpha Wolf, but with a Hellbear, so additional attack speed.
I mean, Miracle's just making this look like the easiest Tiny game of his life.
Yep. He's playing turbo mode while everyone else is playing normal mode right now with how farmed he is. Disruption can delay it, but then it goes on cooldown and you've got no additional answers. And the rest of NIGMA just happy to sit behind him and just say, well, we'll help you if they go on you, but no other hero needs to go on the high ground and really jeopardize this push.
And just casually sort of beating down the tower through the backdoor protection here at 17 minutes. I mean, backdoor protection, what's that, Miracle says? The tower literally dead, he's going to start moving on the barracks. They're cutting the creep waves, but it's not saving them because of how farmed the Tiny is.
Yeah, they're actually doing damage through it. Like you say, with Mask of Madness, they actually kill it pretty quickly.
So. I mean, no one's ever killed Rax through backdoor protection at 18 minutes here. This is...
If they can keep it alive, it will heal back to full, though. That's what they're trying to do.
They've got to keep the pressure on. I mean, Borony is trying to push them off it, but they'll just kill him off.
All right.
And then they'll go back to killing off Rax through backdoor protection.
I mean, like you say, the Techies did a good job clearing out all those mid-creep waves.
It doesn't matter.
And look at, Weaver and Techies, they're actually playing really smart. To me, we kind of question, like, okay, are they just going to lose right now? What they're doing
yes, they are.
It's high IQ Dota. This is the only answer. The answer is there is no answer, so you split push the lanes, you cut waves. Everything aggressive mode right now is doing is kind of the correct call, but they can't threaten high ground. Like this Weaver bottom is a Weaver. If that's a hero that can actually like threaten tier 3s and racks, it's maybe a different story, but not the case.
No, this game has been not quite the game that aggressive mode hoped for. Or maybe they did with their draft.
They picked Techies, so
yeah, they wanted to meme, and that's happening. As I say, We had some creations earlier on the bottom line from Minecraft. I think this whole game is some sort of artwork. I think it's sort of the best way to describe it. As NIGMA, well, this time they will have the luxury of... well, no, they still don't have creeps, but it doesn't matter.
They've got some
They
creeps
do not need creeps.
mid-ish, if they can wait for that creep wave to catch up. But yeah, like you say, they
They
don't need
literally don't need creeps. They're winning without the help of the creeps. Their backdoor protection on aggressive mode, it is not enough. As NIGMA, they're just beating through it. As I said, we've never seen this before.
Yeah,
A team just winning through backdoor protection.
this early on. Yeah, that's
multiple
the thing.
towers, multiple barracks.
You've kind of seen it like in 60-minute
Yeah.
games. Like that's where it's like, oh, there's this Morphling that can do enough damage, or this Tiny, but at pre-20 minutes, that is pretty nuts. Tiny, one of the few heroes that can do that with all the buffs he's getting.
I don't. Would anything else with free farm at 20 minutes be able to do this to towers? I don't think so, right? If any other hero Miracle could be in this position where he's been had entire free farm, it's a
Not that I
tiny
can
thing.
think of. I mean, with a lot of, it's because he's got all the minus army.
Oh, yeah.
So
His build.
maybe some hero like a Clinks or something.
I mean, I think that's well, his courier did get taken down,
Might have been
but
the AC.
I think that would have been the full AC as well. 20 minutes here,
Yeah, he's 60 gold.
Just
short
needs
of
that
it.
plate
Yeah,
now.
He would have it now.
and well, this will be the mega creeps.
Yep.
As Borony, he jumps in,
Oh, he's
skewers
looking
off
for
the
the mine.
side, doesn't find anything.
And now they'll kill that mine stack.
Wow.
That was
There we
the
go.
Hail Mary.
There we go. I mean, that's mega creeps out. 20 minutes in, 18k lead. What a game this has been. I mean, we were looking forward.
We waited this long for this time.
And then-
Come on.
20 minutes. I mean, it's making my day easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
we were waiting on lunch before this, and we were like, oh, we've got to go cast a game now.
Yeah.
Food's going to get cold. No, it's not.
Oh, thanks, Baden.
Yeah.
Looking out for us.
We had to step back and enjoy some hot lunch. Thanks to the boys on aggressive mode. And, of course, thanks to NIGMA for not... Yeah, they certainly made the most of this opportunity they were given. They had that free lane up top. And Miracle, he's just not skipped a beat this whole match. Some of the most insane levels of farm we've seen on a Tiny this early in the game. And they're playing on. Mega Creeps are out.
Yes, if you're going to commit to a draft like this, you commit. You play through the Mega Creeps. You don't GG out just because you got Mega'd at 20 minutes. You're playing. The panel said it's going to be 20 minutes or 80. That statement still remains true right now, okay?
This is a techie's game.
And
mistakes can happen. People can die to mines.
And we're kind of
maybe
approaching the post 20-minute stage. So that means this game may be going 80 minutes. I'll give him like another maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
They've got him power. Deals with Mega Creeps quite nicely.
Yeah.
He's kind of the only hero that can deal with the Mega Creeps, though.
I mean, Skeeter has a Maelstrom, but even those lightning procs don't do enough.
Oh, no, there's the carry. He's dead. Miracle swats him out the way. Onto the tier 4s they go. This time, there's not even backdoor protection. They have managed to move the creeps in very easily with the Mega Creeps. Take down one tier 4. And Miracle will certainly pick up some kills to continue to fatten up his already impressive KDA and GPM this game. And there we go. Tier 4s are gone. Onto the Ancient.
Easy peasy.
All right. Black Hole for nothing. And they'll be calling it soon if they even get the chance to. There we have it. GG is called 22 minutes in. 15-3. 22k goal lead. And NIGMA having definitely one of the easier games they've had recently. Obviously a team that's had some tough times. But this game, just what a game. What? Okay.
I imagine NIGMA's like, we got out of bed for that. Because they're done for today. They don't play again until tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Whereas I think
there you go,
would have to play the next series. So, you know, NIGMA just got up for that 21-minute game Dota, and now they're like, well, okay, guess we're going home.
Wow.
They weren't even really celebrating. I think they knew that was, you know, not really a game that, I mean, obviously they did everything right, but it's not like their opponents were truly testing them in any means. The real test lies waiting for them tomorrow and subsequent days, the likes of VP, Secret, who have looked very strong at this tournament.
Yes, that's true. Because winning this, they'll have to go through B8 and then into Secret.
Yes. And NIGMA's, they're here. They're hoping to bounce back from a disappointing qualifier run. They want to be getting top 2, top 3 of this event. You know, if they lose to Secret, that's fine, but they want to get at least top 2 of this event, I feel. Otherwise, they're going to feel a bit disappointed.
Yeah, and I think, you know, especially a captain like Kuro, even though they've been knocked down and they've had some hard times, he's he's not the kind of player that would ever turn down a chance to face Secret on LAN. You know,
Yeah.
if there was ever that opportunity for NIGMA to show they still really do have that magic, doing it against Secret, that's the biggest opportunity you're going to get to do on the main stage. So obviously just depend on if they do manage to get through B8. Not necessarily an easy thing for them. As I say, NIGMA have had some tough games. B8 could definitely trip them up there, but we'll be looking forward to seeing more of them as we just didn't really get to see much of them today.
Yeah.
20 minutes of it.
We'll get to see more of aggressive mode, and we won't see more of that aggressive mode. They're going to be taking these a bit more seriously as they're now in the playoff bracket. It's not elimination; they're in the upper bracket, but it's where it really counts. They want to go further in this tournament. They had a really good qualifier run, even though they didn't